Hi, I'm Steve Butler. I just want to take just a couple minutes of your time to introduce you to Clover's best premium sewing machine needle assortments. We actually have 3 different assortment racks. We have this one that's either wall mounted or freestanding. We have a really nifty little spinner rack and another plastic rack. If you look at the assortments, you'll find that we've tried to cover everything you need, from embroidery to top stitching, fashion, any style that's currently being used by our consumers will be available on this. We'd like to ask that you contact your sales rep from Clover if he hasn't already contacted you, and get all the information you might need on all of these assortments. Now let's just take a few minutes and talk about Clover's best premium sewing machine needle assortment. We've been told our entire life that there's always the right tool for the right job. Now when it comes to sewing, we have different threads, different fabrics, and different applications. So having the right tool for the right job certainly applies to that. And for that reason, Clover has provided several different styles of sewing machine needles. The first that everyone's familiar with is the universal needle. The universal needle is just a standard sewing machine needle with a slightly rounded point. That allows us to sew on woven and knit fabrics without any problems. Now if we're going to be sewing on knit fabrics, on heavy knit fabrics, then we have a ballpoint needle. And this has a very rounded point, and the benefit of that is when it penetrates our fabric, instead of splitting the fibers, it actually just pushes them aside. Another very useful needle when we're getting into fashion is our super stretch needle. And it also has a very rounded point, so it doesn't cut any of our elastic fibers when we're sewing in those elastic bands. And it has a specially shaped eye that helps the thread protrude so we can pick up that loop with our sewing hook. Another needle that we have is the titanium needle. It's our standard needle, but it's coated with the titanium oxide, which actually makes it a very smooth needle. It actually increases the life of the needle so we can use it just a little bit longer. A very popular thing today is quilting, and so the quilting needle is a very useful needle. It's a standard needle that has a very acute, very sharp point for penetrating those high fiber count fibers, but it also has a tapered tip so it doesn't do any damage to those, and it can also be used for piecing. A lot of machines that we have today can do embroidery, or we have dedicated embroidery machines, and for that we have an embroidery needle. The embroidery needle has an eye that's larger than a standard size eye, and that allows us to use the more delicate metallic fibers, rayons, and even silk threads for embroidery. We also have a metallic needle. The metallic needle has the same point as our universal, so we can embroider on any type of fabric with it, but it has an eye that's actually 2 millimeters long. Another needle that's very helpful is our MICROTEX needle. It has a very acute point, and we can use it in quilting for piecing, or anything that you want to do where you need an absolute straight stitch, because it is so sharp it actually penetrates the fabric right where it hits. Now for using spray adhesives or sticky back stabilizers, some of those things, those products actually gum up some of our other needles. Clover has an anti-glue needle. It's a special surface on our needle, so these products will not stick to your needle and you can sew without any problems at all. We also have a new blue tip needle, which is unique to Oregon. And the blue tip needle just has a larger eye, so if you're having problems with skip stitches or broken threads, or using very delicate threads, this blue tip needle has a little larger eye and it's easier on our thread. We also have a top stitch needle. The top stitch needle is a real workhorse of a needle. It's a little stronger. They're the larger needles. They have an enlarged eye that's 2 millimeters long, and it has an enlarged groove, so our heavier threads will fit inside of that. In addition to this selection of needles, we also have some multi-packs that combine different sets of these together. And that's Clover's best premium sewing machine assortment.